Hey guys, it's Jen. Welcome back. Today I'm going to start a new portion of my channel called Tenderhearted Confessions. And today I'm going to start by talking about, I think, all of the communities that I've been part of throughout my life. I've divided it chronologically by where I was at in different points of my life. And I'm going to take you through my childhood all the way through to where I am now. Let's get started. As a young person, before I graduated high school, I made a lot of bracelets and jewelry out of twine because my family worked at a company called Crow Rope. Had a lot laying around. I started drawing at age 11, and that's when I started to love Star Trek a little too much, and my Dragonlance books led me to love Kender. That's also when my love of Farscape happened, as well as Flux, the card game. Now we're going to get into where I spent most of my time as a young person. Starting around the age of 13 or 14, I was on TOD quite a bit. My favorite diary there was Do You Want My DD? Now that stood for diary description. It was totally like graphic layouts that you could do. This is what's left of it. And at that time when I was young, I started doing websites, tutorials. Let's see, that was from Slackers. I did a lot of different projects back then. Cute little graphic designs. I did dolls. I rated diaries. Here you can see Dementia Graphics. We spelled it that way because the girl that made it just named it that way. Whatever, she misspelled it, it's okay. She was a very nice girl. But I had to add this stuff, you guys, because it was my life when I was like 13, 14. And I just wanted my mom to be able to see this is the shenanigans I was getting up to online. She had nothing to worry about. Like, I made a website to talk about books. Wow. But then, oh gosh, then I moved to Bloop Diary because TOD it wasn't working anymore. You know, it was dead. And Steve made Bloop, and that was cool. I was like the 332nd person to start up, and I was in Toxic Layouts. I don't know where I got the name from. It was like Intoxicated, but I was like 15, like I wasn't getting drunk. I don't know where it came from, guys, but I had a lot of layouts. I had like 500 entries. See, look, you would make the graphic, right? You make it something really cute. Look, I was doing Harry Potter back then, but I wasn't yet a fan. Look at all this old stuff. We called it art. I guess I still call it art. I mean, we all went crazy for this stuff. Like, these were icons and buttons. Icons were 100 by 100 pixels, and buttons were smaller, and you could use them. A lot of different websites use them to link to each other and different stuff. Oh, look, there's the codes, the HTML, and the CSS. Look, I was such a noob. Such a noob. Okay, look. Like, I pieced all of this together from old files and stuff. I spent a lot of time looking for all of this junk. I'd like to put some of it together. Like, that's like the first layout I ever made. One of the very, very first. And, like, that was the style I did. Up until I turned about 18. Got some hosting. I was in Toxic.net for a bit. Hosted these people. I still know some of you. I knew you in real life. Still do, kind of. A lot of you I don't know anymore. I would love to reconnect though. So if you recognize me, please leave me a comment. Send me an email. I'm looking for you guys. Miss you. But yeah, a lot of these people I had blend battles with, and you'll get to see some of my art from this time and stuff that I was making. Oh look, then I went to fromthesky.org, and oh god, I had I had a fan club. It had like 20-something people. And like I was just making crap like this Avril Lavigne stuff. And then I got into more, I tried to learn stuff. I got a little more artsy. But really, I loved the HTML. I loved helping people. Wrote a lot of tutorials and a lot of how-tos. I think they still have the diary on Bloop. What was it? Bloop Diary Basics I ended up making. I made the Service Association. I was part of Saving Bloop. I made bracelets to save Bloop. Oh god. Yep. Oh, I was so into it. Like, it was the best thing for me, honestly. Yep. There's some of the stuff that I made and I sold to, raise money for the server, whatever it was that it needed. It wasn't a whole lot. So while all of that was going on, I had been moved around with my now ex-husband, Thomas. We settled in for a couple years and started playing World of Warcraft. We started as Alliance, yeah. For the opening of Gates of Anchorage, yes. It was a while ago. These are the characters that I have left. So we're jumping forward in time now to a few of my main characters I played. Yeah, I got Dark Iron Dwarves. I'm not playing now. But yeah, I got lonely for home, so ended up going back to Maine. And that's when I started my career at Job Corps. This is when I was 22, and I ended up being a wing leader and a room leader amongst other leadership responsibilities. I got really super into that and worked on a lot of different projects there. Had a ton of fun. Most specifically, I had fun making this website with Mr. Daigle. I was his teaching assistant back then for the career prep class. And as part of that, I had to make this site about myself, which, I had a little experience in. It's a little cutesy, but thank goodness that I made it because it contains some art that we get to check out in just a minute. And look, I kept track of all the things I did, the road trip that I went on. I did the Smile of the US, my top 5. Oh gosh, Labyrinth. Still love Labyrinth. Definitely. Always been huge on Labyrinth. Anything Jim Henson, really. Some quotes and stuff from Total Eclipse. That's cool. Bicentennial Man. I still watch that movie all the time. Oh, look. See, I was so proud of myself. I'm so proud of myself, man. I got, awards for stuff. Some of it was just, you show up and you do what you're supposed to do. And some of it was stuff that meant a lot to me. Okay, so here's some of the art. I know they're teeny tiny little icons, but I wasn't about to try to figure out how to show everything super nicely. But here's one of the very first pieces I put some artistic thought into, and I know it looks like she's got a head coming out of her neck. I was still young, I wasn't paying attention to stuff, and I still missed things, but back then I used to keep track of all of my resources that I used, so I'll have it for all of that stuff, which I'll probably do a video on in the future. And then we get into what I thought were my future plans, things I was going to do. Can't really say that I stuck to my plans and my goals, but I did move on to bigger and better things. Yeah, I left Job Corps, I completed, and I went to Florida for a little vacation. There were goats there. Thought we'd have a little goat break. Creepy. And that's when I started going to the University of Maine. Yes, quite beautiful. I also lived in Bangor at the time. I did take those photos. So pretty. While I was going to UMaine, I went in the Onward program and I ended up helping out in their math labs. That was fun. I also worked as a peer mentor for disability services, and I did a lot of instructions on note-taking for courses. I was a busy bee. I drew a lot. That's when I drew Frontier Blues. I did photo walks in Bangor, It was a great place to. While I was there, I participated in National Novel Writing Month at least once. I started keeping track of all my books on Goodreads, started playing Minecraft, and that was awesome because it led me to my capstone topic of gamifying education. Kitty bird. And then I went back to Florida because look, it's beautiful here. You get a tan here. I love it. I started going to Full Sail University online, getting my master's in creative writing, but my retail job needed me, and I actually had a lot of fun selling maternity clothes, so I went and did that. I helped my friend Melanie edit her book. You should check that out. And I tried Amazon M-Tarking, which I can no longer recommend. Unfortunately, there is definitely not enough profit in it. They changed a lot of things, and I don't really participate in that so much anymore. But during that time, I started designing a Harry Potter Flux deck, which is not endorsed by anyone. I'm just a fan, and I really love Flux. This deck is based off of Starflux, and I'll definitely be finishing it and doing a video on it. Because, I'm a Harry Potter fan for life. Have to be, I have a tattoo. I started focusing on a lot of inside hobbies because Florida's very humid. Beautiful, but humid. I got back to doodling a little bit here and there. Ended up donating my voice to a website that I think they still take submissions, not sure. Learned a little bit about crocheting. That was my cast on go. And then I started working at the Santa Fe College bookstore. And it was awesome to be back on a college campus and having a whole lot of fun. Spent time at High Dive, but unfortunately I got some mental health problems. I gained a lot of weight. It's alright, guys. You'll see it came off. Had a few different jobs, but I kept plugging away. And that leads me to where I am now, which lost weight, looking pretty good. Have a very, very awesome boyfriend who encouraged me to go back to my art. So now what you have on the screen is a time lapse of my Wreck This journal that I've been working on since 2012. Now, just bear with me. Oh look, that's when I took it. And that's about the time that I started working on Florida Man, the game. Warrants its own video later on. I also started my mixed media project, 500 Cats, around that time. And since then have been working on various different projects for children's books, learning how to paint. I've been trying to find my art style or figure out what projects are the most important to me. If you think that you recognize me from one of these communities, I would love to get back in touch with you. Please leave me a comment below or send me an email at kenderhearted@gmail.com. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.